Hey everyone, Evan Kirstay today with American Cloud. You might be thinking, what is an American Cloud? Well, we're going to learn today from Aaron. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing well, Evan. Thanks so much for having me on this afternoon.
Well, thanks for being here. I caught your media the other day, and I was really intrigued, given the dynamic cloud landscape, to hear about something you really don't hear ever, which is a new entrant in the cloud computing space. Maybe introduce yourself, your big idea behind American Cloud, and a little bit about your background for the folks watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name's Aaron Wagner. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders at American Cloud. Above everything else, I'm extremely passionate about mission critical infrastructure. And that's what really led me down this path. A brief history on me is prior to actually getting into the tech space, I was in the military. I was in the United States Army.
Well, thank
I
you.
was in Yeah, of course. Thanks. I was an airborne infantryman. I graduated from Ranger School. I
Wow,
had
double
a
thanks. That's fantastic. That's amazing.
yeah. And one of the things that kind of stuck with me is finding a mission and a purpose and bringing that forward. And fortunately, after the military, I was exposed to the data center industry,
Mhm.
specifically the physical side of the internet, and I really fell in love with it. And one thing led to another, and eventually I started American Cloud with some partners, and we're bringing infrastructure back to being a utility and an easy utility for people and enterprises to use.
Well, that is something we're going to unpack because it sounds amazing. I love the whole idea. But one of my favorite movies is out this week, Mission Impossible, with our Tom Cruise. I'll be there in the front row. But it is competing against Google Cloud and Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure and Oracle as a early stage startup. Is that Mission Impossible?
No, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
if I thought it was impossible, I wouldn't have started American Cloud. But there's such a wide range of needs in the hosting space,
Hmm.
and the big three can no longer compete on true value. They're not
Hmm.
providing good customer service.
Wow.
I'd even argue that they're no longer focused on technology first as their operations have grown and businesses have grown. And don't interpret that as a pop shot. I'm incredibly grateful that the big three have created some of the most innovative computing products ever, but we know we can do it better. We can provide better service to our customers, and we can create products that are easier to use that don't require a PhD to deploy.
Well, that's a really interesting position there. So, yeah, how do you do differentiation? Obviously, there's price, there's performance, there's support. I mean, are those the three metrics, or are you looking at other niches, verticals, or positioning to kind of ramp up and get some market share? I imagine even 1% of 2% of that market would be an enormous market for you.
Yeah, even less than that. I mean, where we're focused is just on our customers, right?
Right.
We stayed in beta for 4 or 5 months, got some great feedback. We were able to make our portal even easier to use, add some additional features, and those three pillars you mentioned are extremely important to us, and they're a critical part of our business plan. And providing a higher level of customer support that doesn't cost
Mhm.
additional money is an
Mm.
easy win. Um, Beating out our competition on price because we can offer more cost effective cloud solutions because we're not dependent on any outside institution or vendor. We actually own the dirt, we own the data center, we own the hardware, we own all the pipes inside the building, and we built all of our own software. So we have no outside dependencies, meaning that we can really deliver a cost-effective solution because we don't owe any, outside licenses, and we have no outside allegiances. we believe that as an infrastructure company, we're providing utility, and that's all we're providing. And there's already laws of the land, and gets to be on the internet. That's for other institutions to decide. It's not for the technology company. So we're just going to continue to deliver technological value to our customers.
That's fantastic. So, things like security and reliability are, top of mind to any customers. What do you tell them? How do you get their confidence around those two, themes?
Absolutely. And security should be one of the first things you ever think about when you're deploying your digital assets, right? Like they're literally your digital jewels. You wouldn't build a house and not put a lock on the door, most likely. Maybe you live in a utopia neighborhood where you feel like you don't need a lock, but more than likely than not, you want to put a lock on your door. And we take security extremely seriously. Two of my other co-founders, they're former Department of Energy Cray guys who helped us build an entire security framework into our virtualization that is completely FIPS compliant. Our data center is already SOC 2 Type 2 certified. It's working on ISO. Basically the auditing process takes the most amount of time. So we'll have all of those, certified seals, but really, when we're talking to our customers, we're showing them the framework, the checks and controls and access and what we built in from the ground up. And then we're helping our customers do the same because, it's one thing to have your infrastructure provider be secure. It's another thing to have your application or your own, website secure as well.
Yeah, that's a fantastic message. Let's talk pricing. I see your pricing is right out there, published on your website, which is nice to see. So, you tell me more when you talk about pricing transparency. In dealing with the big 3 or 4 providers. You get this cloud sprawl phenomenon and hidden costs and things like that. How are you going to shift the paradigm there?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. Hidden costs. We don't have it. And the best way we compete and we beat the big 3 or the top 10 or even the top 20 clouds, we don't charge any network egress fees. I think we're the only provider that doesn't charge network egress fees. And we're able to do that because, like I was talking about earlier, we don't have any outside dependencies. So a fixed cost for us is passed through as a fixed cost for our customers. So rather than trying to nickel and dime every bit and byte on the operation or the network, it's just transparent. And then beyond that, you're just paying for the underlying compute. All of our resources are dedicated. We're not over provisioning servers. You're not going to get a noisy neighbor. So you're getting a premium service for a price that's going to beat the competition every single time. And then, a couple other things we're excited to talk about from a price performance and efficiency and just a more comprehensive solution is we actually just announced a multi-cloud solution with our friends at Liberation Tech. And so this is a way where, somebody who's always advised enterprises to hedge their bets against any one service provider. This is a way where 2 separate providers, 2 separate, data silos are actually working together to bring a multi-cloud solution to these companies.
Fantastic. I'll talk about scale because that's the big message from, the Amazons of the world. It's scaling, any capacity, any peak demand. As a new entrant, how do you respond to the scalability challenge?
Well, just like our frenemies of the big 3, we're addressing scale in a similar yet a little bit different way. We're obviously keeping our infrastructure ahead of any demand. Well ahead of any demand. So if any of our customers are leveraging any of our scaling products, there's always infrastructure available. And then, I said different because we're entering the market kind of in between where the big 3 are and where the tier 2 clouds like Linode and DigitalOcean and Vultr sit. Because we have that easy to use platform except we're on the big three side because we own all of our own infrastructure, we own our own real estate, similar to the way the big three do. And what's different is we've actually created a horizontal autoscale product for just traditional compute machines, which the tier twos don't do. And the big three have kind of a gray area where they have these like container autoscalers, but not just traditional compute autoscalers. So we built that up all from open source products. And then we have a CNCF certified Kubernetes product as well with a cluster autoscaler. So customers, who have chosen the Kubernetes path are able to leverage all the, unique, amazing benefits that Kubernetes offers.
Yeah, well, amazing choices, and it sounds like open source is your, main strategy there as well. Are there other stacks or tech that you look to integrate?
We try to leverage open source, and we do leverage open source wherever we can. It's a way that we can be most cost effective and scalable for our customers.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that as well, it's our belief that we're not trying to lock any customer into American Cloud. If you move your data to American Cloud, or if you build your company on American Cloud and you hate us, your entire environment's extremely portable because it's all built on open source. Underneath the hood, I'll tell you, I wrote a blog post about it. We use Apache Cloud Stack, we use Ceph, we use Zabbix, we use Power DNS, and we built a little service delivery app that sits on top of it. And that's how you interact with our orchestrators. We're also building out a bare metal as a service right now with Canonical's MAS open source project. We're not creating a proprietary system that's going to lock you in and make it really difficult to use. Everything's open source.
That's fantastic. I even see your buzzword there. Your handle is the data. Your data deserves better, which is quite a nice branding there. I'm not sure if that was your invention, but it certainly resonates with folks. I imagine you'll have a lot of healthcare clients, different verticals, different industries. Do you see any sweet spots emerging for American Cloud?
Yeah, we've got a pretty diverse range of customers so far, but from a trending perspective, we are seeing software companies, really SaaS companies. I think, and I predicted, and I think it'll continue to trend this way because we don't charge network egress fees, and a software company where their users are all over the world and consistently pulling data out of the cloud. Our ability to completely mitigate that cost to zero is a huge benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, where's your main data center now, and how do you see that growing geographically over time, over borders, et cetera?
Yeah, we joked about this early on. We're born behind the Iron Curtain. Our data center is actually in Santa Clara. It's in Silicon Valley. It's one of the last
nice
data
choice.
centers in that zip code. Yeah, so as a mission critical infrastructure guy, it was really important that we have really good interconnection, that we're in a good internet city. As we grow and scale, and we add more facilities to our portfolio, and we've kind of set up more hubs across the United States, then we can kind of start going into tier 2, tier 3 cities, and we can bring our costs down even lower. But in the beginning, it's really important to have really strong interconnection, because we're completely independent and we're not reliant on any other outside providers, that doesn't mean we can't be hyper connected, because the whole idea of the internet is to be hyper connected. So we're another cog in that wheel that provides independence and reliability, but hyper connection to the rest.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm so old. I remember a day when the internet was much more open. You could pick your own email company. You could spin your own email server. You still can, I guess, but it's not really the best practice these days. And of course, everyone's locked in now to different email services and clouds and SaaS apps and providers, and even your broadband providers are limited. So yeah, congratulations. Wishing you success on the mission. What are you up to this summer, personally, professionally? I imagine your head's down as an early startup, kind of working with customers day in, day out. But what say you?
Yeah, definitely spending upwards of 99% of my time on, we're 1 year in at this point, but
Okay.
that 1% of time that I get to focus on stuff other than American Cloud, it's actually coming up tomorrow. I'm heading to North Carolina. My dad and I play an annual golf tournament together, and it's that time of year.
Nice. Oh, beautiful. I hope you have the weather, at least in the East Coast here. It looks good. Yeah, and thanks so much for sharing your vision and mission. I'm rooting for you. I think a number of folks probably watching are. And thanks for your time, and thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Ed.